If you grew up in Brazil in the early to mid 2000s, you may be very familiar with this cover. And if you're not, get ready for a weird story. This may look like a real GTA game at the time, set in the beautiful city of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, but that's where you're wrong. Back then, this was being sold in street markets all over Brazil, and a lot of people really believed this was an official GTA game, or at least something close enough. And that's the important part. People were not being deceived by the game itself, but by the cover art. The artwork promised something we had never seen before, a GTA set in Rio. Brazilian locations, Brazilian culture, something that felt local. And when you actually put the disc in, you realize it's just regular GTA San Andreas. And there was no Rio, no Brazilian story, no official mod, just the same game everybody already knew, just sold with a different cover. And with all honesty, most people didn't really care that it was just regular GTA San Andreas at that point. Original games back then, especially in Brazil, were very expensive. Piracy was pretty much everywhere, and if it looked like GTA and played like GTA, that was kinda like more than enough for us. And what I personally think is so cool about all of this, even though GTA San Andreas back in the day had a ton of mods for it, even today, GTA San Andreas was not the only game that had that treatment. This right here is called Bomba Patch 3, and is actually a mod that adds a bunch of Brazilian players, teams, and divisions to Pro Evolution Soccer back in the day. Back then, buying original games in Brazil could get very expensive, very fast. On average, a brand new PlayStation 2 game could cost close to $100. And because of that, piracy wasn't really seen as stealing, it was seen as being able to play games at all. Because games were so expensive, flea markets made it possible for pretty much everyone to experience the amazing games the PS2 had to offer. And not only that, but the flea markets were the only places that we could find these amazing and sometimes cursed versions of these games. Most of these were sold as if they were brand new releases. No mods or altered versions of existing games were mentioned at all. And most people, including myself, we had no idea what the difference was between a modded version, a bootleg version, and the real deal. We bought them because they were cheap and cool. And I think that the best example of this was Bomba Patch. Everyone had this game and everyone loved it. Brazilian teams, Brazilian leagues, real player names, updated rosters. Bomba Patch didn't feel like a fake game. It felt like the version of the game people actually wanted. These versions reflected Brazil in a way that the original releases either didn't want to or they didn't care to. So we didn't grow up with the original versions of the games. We grew up with these versions. So when people come to me and say, oh, that was a fake version, they're technically right, but to us, it felt very real. And there are two reasons to why I'm sharing this with you guys. One is because I want to share this to people that maybe don't know about this little bootleg side of the PlayStation 2, and most people, I do believe, would find this cool. And two, because I do want to collect these games. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to buy them out of eBay or Facebook Marketplace or any place like that. Maybe I can buy them on Mercado Livre, which is pretty much an eBay but from Brazil, but I do think it would be very expensive to bring those games here to the US. But what I'm thinking is that I would burn some discs and just print the cover art for them and then buy a DVD case and put them in those. I do think it would be very legit, or the way that they would have made these back in the day. So I do think that would be a cool idea to do. Alright everybody, I believe that wraps up today's video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something new about this amazing console and some of the culture behind it. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.